Village idiots!
Oh, DB, you're such a great human. Oh, it's so perfect.
The first time I listened to that, when you sent it to me on the group, I didn't actually go all the way through. It was only like one listen ago that I heard the village idiot at the end.
I mean, it's really something. When we spoke about what song he was going to do, I was like, oh, I've got to worry about copyright and stuff like that. And then he sent it. I was like, yeah, I think we'll be okay. I think it's fine.
Fine with that. Okay, so hey everyone, welcome to Village Idiots. My name is Alex Whaley. I'm joined by Josh, who you just heard. We're part of a world where competence means nothing. It really is about how you play the game, and how we play is similar to the tabletop version, with balls caught using mostly our legs and no cardio whatsoever.
Nice.
This world is village cricket. Our team is Clapham Cricket Club. How you doing, Josh?
I'm very well, thank you, Alex. What about you?
Yeah, brilliant, mate.
Coping with lockdown, all right?
Dude, I'm loving lockdown. It's so fantastic. I actually genuinely love this time. It's really, really nice. I suppose today is a bit of a nightmare for you, mate.
Thursday, April. No idea why. Why is it a nightmare?
Because you've been forced to sit down and talk to two Australians at the same time.
I mean, I've been mentally preparing for this since I started playing cricket about 8 years ago. So no, I'm okay. I'm settled. The fact that you're wearing a yellow hoodie is slightly disconcerting, but yeah,
I had to do it. So our guest today is, I think, currently the only other Australian in the squad at the moment. If that's not true, then I'm sorry to whatever Australian I offended. I'm pretty sure they've all pissed off back home by now. I don't know what we're doing here. Is one of my favourites in the team and has been for years. Hedge, are you there?
I am. What an honour to be here.
Say that now.
Good to have you, mate. Yeah. Give it time. All right, Hedge, let's start it off, mate. Roll in the club. How long have you been with us?
How long have I been with it? 2016 I started. I remember moving over to London, and I think most people who move over to live and work from Australia, they go through a period of it's best described as interviewing for friends. So, when you meet people out of the pub or something, you're like, hi, I'm really interested to know who you are. And then after a few years, you're like, please don't talk to me. But I remember getting to the country and thinking, right, I need to do something, to meet new people. And I thought, I love cricket. I haven't played cricket in years. I'm going to look for a cricket team. So naturally got onto the website, living in Clapham, Clapham Cricket, and this CICC first one to come up. And since then, and actually forever, I've never played a game in Clapham.
None of us have. That's the anomaly.
Although I've got a bit of control over that now, being Fixtures Secretary, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, Fixtures Secretary, you said that's your role. I think it's more than that, though, really, isn't it? You kind of invented club secretary for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That role has ceased to exist when I took on Fixtures, but I guess there was a period there where we needed a bit more organisation in the club, put it that way, and I can't help myself and do it.
I mean, the club's been around for 20 years, but yeah, fine. All right.
How could you possibly suggest that a club that has Clapham in the title and has never played at Clapham could do with some more organisation?
I can't imagine why I thought that.
It's interesting, actually. I want to jump back quickly. You said the interview process when you first come over. Did you ever do a thing called speed flatmating?
No, but I'm extremely interested now. So now we'll turn the interview to you, mate. Let's hear about it.
That's the first thing that we did when we came over, when we were actually looking for a place to live, was speed flat mating. And we went to, like, they have them in Camden and Clapham and everywhere else. And you literally just go and you've got either a sticker that says on your chest that says, I'm looking for a flat, or I have a flat. And you just talk to people that way. So it's literally like a round table of speed dating. And we met these like 3 people who were also looking for a flat, and realised that everyone else there that had a flat was either creepy or just a general fuckhead. So we just went to the pub over the road and got smashed. That's how we got made friends.
Are the people that have the stickers saying, I have a flat, are they just really smug? They're like, I don't need this. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of them are even walking around with like a laptop or something. It's like, here's pictures of the flat. Here's my cat and all that sort of stuff. Like,
I must say, though, from an effort versus time ratio, like, compared to usually finding flats, it seems like pretty value adding.
Yeah,
indeed. Well, I mean, we didn't get a flat out of it, but we made a couple of mates. So, yeah.
I love that this is now the Right Move podcast.
Yeah,
helping you find a flat since 2020.
Just dropping in commercial names there. Yeah. And our sponsors, Right Move.
I'm hoping they'll send me some free sparkling water.
Yeah. Just give me a house. Why not? Yeah. Okay, so 2016, not too long. About 4 years. What's your highlight? What's your low light in any particular order?
We'll start with the highlights. There's been some great tours. Corfu sticks out as an amazing one. So does Croatia. Amazing. In terms of actual cricketing highlight, geez, I really got to pick my brains here because there's not a great deal. Other than the fact that sometimes I take a catch. I remember there was a match, Old Boy Tennysonians. I think that's what it was, something like that. And it was, what was the team? Gents, that's right. Gents was the match out near
I love Gents.
Motsbet Park. And I took 4 wickets on that particular day and got fined because I didn't get the 5.
Obviously.
Yeah, but I remember it was cloud cover. The ball, it was probably about 30 overs in. I was shiny on one side, it was in swinging, and I bowled these 2 guys straight through the gate, one after the other. And yeah, that's definitely my favourite day of cricket. Not that I've talked about it much since then.
Or analysed the details.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. And now I always aspire to have those same conditions. So when there's a bit of cloud cover like there is today, it's perfect for bowling.
Get out there.
Low lights. Oh, God.
Which drop?
No.
Wow.
Which take over the boundary?
Listening to your previous podcast, a few have been mentioned. Yeah, look, I can't go over the fact that we played like a short overs version of the game, Rains Park, I think it was, against 3 different teams, and it was 6 aside. And, it took a really good catch on the boundary. I'm going to say really good. It was a good catch, whatever. Was so excited, stepped back to go forward, and then the umpires put his hands in the air. Initially, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And then I looked around and people are pointing and, gesticulating, and sure enough, I stood over the boundary. So that was extremely embarrassing. But then I think in the same season, it was the season after. That's right. I think it was Goodrich. Yeah, took a running catch close to the boundary and then stepped over the rope again. The rope was going around the side screen, so disaster. So I think I'll always be remembered for that, and just generally dropping catches in the outfield. Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm any good at it.
Every time you're put to the outfield, what goes through your mind?
Oh, here we go again. But every time the ball goes up, I'm like, oh, fuck, I've dropped this.
So it's not, there's not like every time Jimmy, or now it will be Matt, points to the boundary and says, out you go. You in your head, you're not, okay, here's my chance for redemption again? Or is it like, no, there's definitely going to be a catch hit my way, and I'm definitely going to fuck it up?
Yeah.
I completely get that, though.
Yeah.
It's like golf. If you think you're going to miss a putt, you'll miss a putt. And when I'm on the boundary, so see a ball coming towards me now, all I think is how I'm going to apologise. Like, that's the first thing that goes through my mind to Matt Goodman, which is a terrifying apology to make.
There's no doubt that cricket's one of those sports that's mostly played between the years.
Spoken like a true commentator.
But that, I don't think they're my worst point of the club. I think my worst was last year against Lord's Travellers. I think I was bowling the last over, and they had to get something like, 14 or something like that off the over. And I thought, I'm 100% going to be able to defend this. And the guy, like 1 wicket remaining, and the guy's just walking out and just pummeling me all over the place, despite I was bowling the exact same line and length. And then we lost. I was broke. So angry.
That was a bit harsh though, because I remember I was keeping, and they widened the last ball, and it was like they just glanced his thigh pad kind of thing. Yeah. And then they ran, so they got 2 off the last ball to win by 1, and it should have been a tie. It was that was hard.
But it was. I don't mind letting myself down, but letting the team down in such a close match was bad, really bad.
Oh, that sounds rough. Was that your 100 game as well, Josh?
It was my 100 game. Yeah. So I don't really give a shit when we lost. It's fine.
Spoken like a true centurion.
Yeah.
I forgot to go through your history, Hedge.
Okay.
First memory of cricket. Go on.
I was thinking about this one because I figured you'd ask this. I think you'll know, well, yourself coming from Australia, that you don't know when your first memory of cricket is, because it's just been something that's been part of your life since when you could, see and hear. So,
sure.
Like my father, massively into cricket. So is all of his family. My mother, not massively into cricket, but that's mostly because her family are absolute cricket tragics. So, the cricket was on every summer, and it was discussed at the dinner table, and it was discussed at every family event. So I can't remember the first time I experienced cricket because it's always been there.
Right.
I guess the first time I remember playing, I must have been 4 or 5 or something, and Dad's got me in the backyard, and he's just giving me easy balls, a bit like Freckers and his son, same kind of age. And I remember even then he's teaching me to get my left arm up and play with a straight bat and all this kind of rubbish. So I played cricket from under 6s to I think under 17s, and then I had a big break until I played again for you guys.
Yeah. Says quite a bit about your batting, doesn't it? That straight bat is still rubbish to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like even all the things he was telling me then, like, anything on the offside, roll your wrists over so it goes down so you don't get catches. Like, why aren't I still using that bit of information when I'm slashing at things out on the outside?
Just never stuck.
Yeah. So cricket's been part of the life forever.
Sure. No, I understand what you mean. It's like, it's the same as like asking what's your first memory of anything, because definitely it's ingrained. It's since before you could walk and talk. I mean, the CICC kids that are coming up now are going to have that as well, aren't they? Like they'll never remember Clack's wedding, but we played a fuckload of cricket.
That's what I love. Like, it's when kind of like DB brings Elliot along or something, and you go out and hit some balls and mess around and some catches. Just because I remember that so vividly as a kid with my dad when he was playing like a Sunday match, and I love it if one of the other dads would kind of throw some balls down. That would be great. So it's really nice to see that kind of coming through in another generation. That was really exciting.
Yeah, 100%, and it's so important for the game as well.
Definitely,
I even to this day, like that relationship between father and son with cricket, and I'm sure as more girls come in to play for the sport, that'll be the same for daughters and their fathers as well. That still exists for me now. So whenever I take a few wickets, I typically, the weekly update or WhatsApp call back to Dad, I let him know, and he still doesn't give a fuck.
Want that admiration.
He's like, oh yeah, okay, thanks for letting me know, son. Let me know when you've taken a fiver and made 50 in the same match.
Yeah, my dad does exactly the same. I remember when I got my first 50, I was so chuffed, and I called him straight afterwards. And I said, Dad, I just got my first 50. He's like, oh, you didn't get 100 then?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Dad. So when I got my 100, I called him straight. I was like, fucking did it.
But guaranteed that, like, when we have kids and we teach them to play cricket, it's going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's going to be 100% exactly the same.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Nickname of Hedge. Short. This doesn't refer to a structure made of grass and branches. It's short for hedgehog. Can you fill us in on this nickname, please?
I guess by extension, the hog is related to the hedge of the bush. So, kind of is.
What?
So, well, hedgehog, I'm assuming that it's a small little hog associated with hedges because you always find them in bushes, yeah? Anyway, I'll leave that thought with you.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of got rid of one of my questions because I was going to ask you what a hedgehog was. You've kind of blown my mind with that. We'll get Rid on, who is the club expert on hedgehogs. I'm sure he can clarify that it's not a hog with a hedge on its back.
Rid is basically where the nickname came from because my first match was at Barnes against Roehampton, I think it was. And I remember sitting on the sidelines with all the guys waiting for my turn to bat. And Rid was telling us about his job at the time, which was going around at night counting the number of hedgehogs in London parks. And I quite innocently asked, a hedgehog spiky? Because we obviously have something kind of similar in Australia, echidnas, which we used to get in the backyard all the time, and they're super spiky.
They're fucking spiky.
So I was particularly interested in that. And to this day, I still don't really have any reference to hedgehogs versus echidnas in terms of spikiness because I've still yet to see a hedgehog. It's very sad.
Have you not looked one up on the internet?
Oh no, I have seen him on TV and that, but that doesn't count, mate. It doesn't count. And I haven't.
Yeah, no. Sonic is not a good representation.
No, yeah, not at all.
Yeah, it's almost a running joke through the club, isn't it? The number of nicknames. I can't believe I got away with one, but the number of nicknames that have come up due to animal confusion.
Yeah,
because we had Fritnell on with his pigeon pheasant crossover.
Yeah,
you've got your hedgehog one. I don't know how I got away with it, but it was also at Barnes because remember one very defining feature about Barnes Cricket Ground is that it's just covered in duck shit.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter where you fall, are going to be falling in duck shit.
Oh yeah.
And it was a game. We were sitting there, and these. I thought they were ducks anyway, flew across the field, and I just said, "Fuck, they are big ducks." and Clack, sitting next to me, went, "Yeah, they're geese." and I remember that. I kind of laughed it off. I was like, "Yeah," and he was just looking at me. He was like, "No, they're geese." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, fine." So somehow got away with that.
Well, don't worry, we can still adopt that nickname. That's fine. Yeah, when cricket is next played in 2021. That will be your nickname.
Okay, lovely.
Although most people think it's to do with your lack of batting prowess, anything relating to ducks.
Or we could just call him Goose.
Oh, okay.
No. That's too Top Gun.
Actually, yeah, I think that's exactly. I was just about to say. I think that's exactly why it never got adopted because someone said that. No, Goose is a cool person from Top Gun. We can't have that shut down.
You can tell when we grew up.
I think I'm one of the only players in the club that doesn't have a nickname.
Yeah,
it's
strange. That's kind of nickname.
It's really not. But yeah, it's funny.
I mean, your last name is good enough that Shinner kind of rolls off, and Shindog, as he said. But yeah, Barney, taken from your company's logo, it's decent, isn't it? But I don't really know too many people that use it. I like the one of Cook, of Chef.
Because of my opening batting partners.
On full rotation.
That's a good one. I'll take that.
I do like that one. We got to work something else out. I don't know.
All right. If you want to put a call to arms for the club, if anyone wants to think of a better nickname for me that's not Twat Face or something, that'd be great.
Good first attempt.
Fair enough. And we're certainly not adverse to coming up with our own nicknames either, are we?
I do like Chef, though. Yeah, I'd have to stick with Chef. Yeah, fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I have got some other questions, but I got a feeling that Josh will probably want to ask one or two of them himself. So, Josh, turn it over to you. Any questions, mate?
Okay, I'll ask a few. So, first of all, Hedge, I just want to do a little quick fire round with you, if I may.
Okay.
So, don't have to think about it. It's just a quick answer. No deliberation, all right? Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Trains or cricket?
Oh, cricket.
Faster. England or New Zealand?
New Zealand.
God, that's easy. That's easy.
Commentating or catching?
Commentating.
Fine wine or craft beer?
Fine wine.
Goodrich day 1 or Goodrich day 2?
Day 1.
Sally or Susan?
Susan.
Okay. And
Shaniqua's probably the best.
Shaniqua, that's it. Because we haven't spoken about the other nicknames for Hedge. It's any name beginning with S. Which is one of my favourite things in the club. Any woman's name beginning with S because of
Susan Boyle. So
exactly.
It's that whole thing where the score was like bowler's name, and then everyone's yelled out Royal, and they've written Boyle. So Susan Boyle stuck. I must say, it pumps me up when between balls, like everyone in the team like think of a different woman's name starting with S, because I must make the batsman like, what the fuck is going on here?
It's like that and thinking up names of islands for Rian.
Yeah,
is also one of my favourite. Like those two, I like a changeable nickname. It's fucking great.
Yeah, that is definitely one of my favourite Rians when he starts bowling and everyone's in the islands.
Come on, Menorca.
Republic of, I think was my favourite.
Republic of, it's good. Good. So we kind of nicknames, and then I did want to ask you whether you know the purpose of boundary rope, what it's actually for. But then we've kind of covered that topic because
so the purpose of the boundary rope is because cricket has got soft over the years, and when they were trying to in the past it used to be gutters and fences, right? So you'd see, like, I think early 90s it still was. So it's just
a fence would have been maybe better for you.
Yeah, I would have been. I would have been able to. I don't think touching the fence was a 6.
Yeah,
let's just not over.
Put a big drop in there somewhere. Yeah,
I'd much rather a gutter and a fence. Like pure 90s and beforehand.
I saw a great tweet through the week, actually, that would be your absolute worst nightmare, Hedge, where one ground, I can't remember what it was, rather than boundary rope or cones or anything like that, they literally mow out the boundary line. So
I like that.
The ground is short, and where the long grass is, that's where it actually ends.
Yeah.
And because it's like a village side, it's the quote that was under it was like, we asked the groundsman how wide are the boundary ropes, and his response was, depends how much petrol's in the mower. I fucking love that.
Sounds very subjective though, in terms of whether they touch the boundary or not.
Yeah. And also, I want to go back, England, New Zealand. I find it incredible that you Englishmen still think that this is even a question to be asked.
So for us, we're basically raised anyone but England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Unless it was some ridiculous sport where it was, the States playing England. In that case, you'd go for England. I think that's one of the only scenarios.
Fine, fair enough. And also,
and I think sorry, mate.
Go on.
Okay, and it's like we've kind of we figured it out around about the World Cup time when you guys were questioning why New Zealand, I kind of figured out what it was. And it's like the big brother, little brother kind of syndrome. Like New Zealand is Australia's little brother. Like we love beating up on them, but no one else can.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good explanation. Yeah.
Yeah. Although recently it's them beating the fuck out of us, especially in the rugby.
Well, the little brother always gets bigger, doesn't he?
Yeah.
At some point, unless your last name's Langham.
Yeah. Oh, Dino. Has Dean been listening to these?
Oh, I don't know.
So.
I don't know.
Too much of a time difference.
Dino.
And Hedge, you chose cricket over trains. It's good.
Yeah. Close one, though. Good question.
Tough, yeah.
Because trains have also been part of my life from when I was a kid as well. But I guess that's the same with anyone. So...
yeah. Anyone with access to decent transport.
Why trains as a kid?
Oh, I just remember my grandfather taking me up to see the trains in Sydney, and I was, extremely interested, just the same as any other toddler is.
Wow. Okay, good. Thanks. That's interesting.
Nice.
So I've got a couple of actually fairly normal questions. I did want to ask you, as Fixtures Sec, where you see the matches going in terms of kind of the balance of village versus more competitive stuff and travel and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I guess as Fixtures Secretary, and I hadn't appreciated before I started, you have to balance the expectations of all the members, but also you have to balance the, the spirit of the club.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
you have to choose and stay with fixtures that achieve those goals. So the spirit of the club is to enjoy cricket. It is, and we have had experiences in the past where our oppositions have been living that vision. But then for some reason they start to use this bit of batting practice.
Yeah.
For their grade players on a Sunday, and that leaves a bad taste in your mouth when you're playing on the other side. So we have to let those ones go. And also, I guess we try and choose fixtures and I guess other oppositions that have a similar outlook to us all the time.
Yeah.
So it is difficult though, really difficult. And then in terms of geography, you've got to try and balance it because we're all over the place. So we did go through a period of where it was mostly southern ones, I think mostly because they were the ones that were left standing after we culled the others.
Yeah.
So you have to try and get it 50-50, whether it be north or south of the river.
Yeah. No, good. And then do you find difference between, I know you didn't play cricket from when you were, I think you said 17 to Clapham again, but do you know if there's a difference between non-competitive cricket in Australia and here?
Yes.
Really?
Huge difference. So the reason I stopped playing cricket is because of the competitiveness of the team I was playing for. So it was only under 16s or 17s, and one of the fellas in the team, his father was the coach, and the team was basically filled with players from the same school as this kid, all his mates, and then there was me. So it didn't matter what I did, I'd always be bowled last or bat last, and I just hated it.
Yeah.
So gave it up from then. The problem in Australia is that everyone plays cricket, and also every bloody father thinks their son's going to be Australian captain one day. So the competitiveness on the field and off the field is astronomical. Yeah, so that's why it was such a breath of fresh air playing for you guys.
Yeah, oh, interesting.
And I'll be interested to know how many people are put off cricket in Australia and here, for that matter, for exact same reasons.
Yeah, well, I think that's where we're kind of what we were talking about a minute ago with the fixtures and how competitive they are. Because if you're a newbie and you've just done a couple of nets, you haven't played in years, and you thought about getting back into cricket, and you went and played, for example, that Henley match last year, I definitely would never have played for Clapham again if that was my first experience of Clapham. Whereas if your first experience is Goodrich or Blueies or something like that, then it's a different whole different thing. Whalers.
95% of our other opposition aren't like that.
Yeah,
definitely. But you're exactly right.
Yeah.
So we have to work pretty hard to make sure that we've got the right opposition, to share our values.
Good. And then I just have one final question. It's a quick one.
Okay.
Who is more of a hero to you, Richie Benaud or Thomas the Tank Engine?
The Ringo Starr, yeah. Well, definitely Richie Benaud. I mean, to essentially invent TV commentary and be the doyen of cricket commentary. Oh,
yeah. But then Thomas was a blue train, so
yeah, Richie Benaud. And even nowadays, I still listen to the 12th Man just for a laugh.
Yeah. Cool. That's
best.
You got any questions, Alice? Anymore?
Yeah. Who's your most hated commentator?
Michael Clark, hands down.
Good question.
An absolute idiot.
And good answer.
That's a pretty good.
Whoever's commentating and isn't respected by the players really says something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Australian commentary's gone to shit, hasn't it?
I guess it's hard for us, Alex, because we're comparing against what will probably be the best cricket commentary in Australia forever.
Oh, come
on.
Oh, mate. Oh, I cannot tell you. Like Tony Gregg, Bill Lawry, the Chappell brothers, Mark Taylor. Like,
but then we have blowers.
Well...
Yeah, you've had it all right.
Yeah, I must say, when TMS was like blowers, Tufnell, and Aggers, and they somehow managed to get 3 people on a stint as opposed to 2, like changeovers in particular, I'd be howling with laughter.
Yeah.
He's so good. But, I mean, there's not much chat about cricket, but that's probably why I liked it so much.
Yeah,
great.
I guess.
Have you warmed to TMS yet, Hedge?
Oh yeah, definitely. When all the last Ashes, TMS, and the World Cup as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. Despite obviously a little bit biased, but I think the World Cup was quite good, having I guess people from those respective countries commentating.
Yeah, definitely
For each match.
Well, it's like Ian Smith commentating on the World Cup final for Sky.
Yeah.
Like he made that.
Iconic now.
Yeah, it is. Oh, so good.
Yeah. And the Headingley match, I think Glenn McGrath was in the commentary box at the time and it was all falling apart.
Yeah.
I think it was Glenn McGrath. And I was listening to that. I was down at Bournemouth today. It was a nice sunny day and I was at the beach. And I was pissed off with us just throwing away that game. Oh, my God. And the insufferable English for years to come from that freaking match.
Yeah, because we've only just stopped going on about 1981 because of last summer. So you guys are screwed for another 30 years.
Until the next, Ben Stokes moment. So that's at least 20 years.
But at least we'll never let you forget Nathan Lyon's fumble. It's just
and Tim Payne,
that review.
Terrible reviews.
That's my favourite part of the test is watching Justin Langer throw the bin down those stairs and then picking up every single piece of litter.
Well, I actually heard afterwards on a different podcast. Sorry, lads, I was just listening to a different podcast. They interviewed him about the documentary, and he wanted that cut out, but he didn't realise that in his absent-mindedness, he'd put all the rubbish back in after he kicked it.
I like that.
A little throwback to a question Josh asked me one time. If you could take a wicket at MCG or Lords, what would it be?
Yeah, great question. I guess home of cricket is amazing. I've not seen a match there yet. I really look forward to it. I've done the tour there.
Really?
And even that was amazing.
You've not been to a match there?
No. The ticket, it's often too expensive to go. But,
it's madness, right?
Yeah.
They're like £100 for any ticket there.
For the test matches,
and when you pay $30 to go to the MCG on day 3 or something, it's hard to justify. But I always went down to the MCG to watch matches every summer with my family. I'm like provisional member, so hopefully get the full membership soon. I think I'd rather take a wicket at Boxing Day test with 90,000 people in there. There's not an Ashes test to imagine.
That would be crazy.
Childhood dreams, long flush down the toilet.
But at least you're really good with trains.
Thanks.
So,
that's debatable still. Pretty difficult in England.
Right. A question that I've never asked you before as well, I think. When you first came over here, were you, because I'm still like, it still hurts a little bit. Are you outraged at cricket coverage in the UK
Yeah.
TV? Like the fact that you pay for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still baffled by the decision making of, I'm assuming it's the ECB to sell the rights to commercial commercial viewing.
It's money. Yeah, that's all it
like
is.
It's a weird. I know it's a weird question to bring up, but it's still something that that drives me absolutely insane. Like back home, they tried to turn it to paid, and the whole public just like made this massive petition and said, "You're not fucking doing it."
Yeah.
And they said, "All right." And then it's so funny, like Jimmy was saying when he does his PR work, that every year they say, how can we open it up to more audiences? And every year the overwhelming response is put some matches on TV for free.
Yeah.
And they never do.
But then they even got rid of TMS coverage for certain overseas series where they gave it to TalkSport because of money. Like it's just the ECB's,
It's I'm sure there's a lot more that we don't know about that goes on behind closed doors, and it'd be good to be a fly on the wall to hear those debates. But from an outsider's perspective, it's really short-sighted. One of the reasons that Australian cricket is so strong is because you're guaranteed to walk into most houses in Australia in summer when a cricket match is on, and the TV will be on all day. And people won't be watching it. They'll walk in and out of the room every now and again. They'll hear it when they're, making lunch. But it's on because it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that seeps in over time, that subliminal, constant cricket.
English cricket just got rid of that because when it was gotten rid of, that was at the end of the 90s, wasn't it? When England were just absolutely atrocious. And I think the English public were just like, stop wasting our TV time. This is on for 7 hours in a day. Turn it off.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. So it really does bother me, Whaley. But every now and again, if there's a serious match on, I'll pay for a week's subscription to Now TV, Sky Sports, or something like that.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Yeah, no, I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. That's all. It's an interesting thing. All right, cool. Josh, any more questions?
No, I'm good. I'm just kind of getting psyched up for our Criculate. After my terrible performance last week. Actually, I say my terrible performance. Also, Ed Gregg's absolutely abysmal attempt at describing a cover.
That was something special.
I'm glad I'm going after him. We'll see how we go.
You really can't do worse. Sorry, Ed. Love you.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, Hedge, you're familiar with the rules of our Criculate? Not like Ed.
Yeah, go through it anyway, just for your listeners.
Do we need to? We had Ed explain every possible iteration of how the rules can be explained last week. So you explain it without saying the actual words or anything within the word, and Josh tries to guess them. You get a point for each one. That's pretty doesn't need to be more than that, does it?
No,
60 seconds?
No, that's perfect.
Okay, and can you use words that rhyme with or something?
No, but I think the rules are you can't use rhymes.
No, it's just to describe what it is or who it is.
Yeah.
Okay, go on, try and cheat.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, I Criculate 3 categories, Hedge. You may choose from equipment and grounds, on field, and DB's wheelhouse. What would you like, sir?
Definitely not DB's wheelhouse. That'd be my nightmare. Although it's a really good name of a category, and anyone that knows DB knows exactly what they're in for. I think equipment and grounds, ideal.
Solid.
Okay, let me get my timer up just to
famous
remind
timer.
us, the famous timer. So for just for everyone that's unfamiliar with the timer, every second is denoted by me pulling a ball to the boundary for 4 on my way to 76 against ISIS, who is actually a cricket team in Oxford. I didn't mention that last week. It's quite an important one to note.
Named after the river.
Not a terrorist organisation.
Yeah, because that section of the River Thames is referred to as ISIS, which is why and we actually have a nice little tie to that club. It's Joel's fiance's cousin. Is that it, Jono?
Yeah, something like that. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
One of the great new fixtures.
That's a great fixture. I love that.
That's a really good fixture, man. Did you ever play indoor with us, Josh?
Once, and I was told was to hit the ball down and then you'd be fine. I hit the ball down straight onto someone's foot and then they caught it. I was furious.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
I was not happy.
That was fantastic. You and Jim Clack had the worst time of your life playing indoor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because did you meet Jono then? Because Jono came and played a few indoor cricket matches with us. This is where I was getting at.
Okay.
So he played about 3 or 4, and he was a decent bloke. And obviously, because he's quite fast, so he was good to play indoor cricket with. But after that, it was about 2 months later, maybe not even that. I saw him in Asda at Clapham Junction, and I sort of went past, and I went, Jono, and waved, and he turned around and looked at me. And then sort of squinted and just shrugged and then walked the other way.
Wow, nice.
So now every single time I see him, I do that, just shrug and squint at him, and just shake my hands.
Funny.
Sorry, mate. So I was I've met you 5 or 6 times. What the fuck, you bastard? And it's clear that I know who you are because I said your name and I was looking at you. At the very least, you'd give a wave, but he just shrugged and then just turned around.
That is particularly rude. I mean, you're unforgettable, Whaley. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I thought so, but clearly not. All right, sorry, back to the game. Okay. Hedge, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Josh, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's play our Criculate. Go.
All right, Bowler has this in his hand.
Ball.
Yes. It's one of the main cricket grounds in England that the Ashes has played at. I can't remember the city.
Lords,
it's a northern
Old Trafford,
one.
Edgbaston,
Correct.
Headingley.
Old Trafford, correct. Yeah. Batsman wears this in the leg area. It's a type of pad. Thigh pad, correct. It's a sports brand, swoosh.
Nike.
Correct. It's the first word in our Latin motto.
Oh, God. Oh, no. No, not cervix. Celiacs or something.
Correct, Salix. It's one of the stumps. It's the main one.
Middle stump.
Correct.
Main stump.
It's a cricket ground, South Africa.
Oh, God.
Cape Town.
Oh, God.
I think it's Cape Town. It's this Port Elizabeth. I think is Cape Town one.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
Not on my South African cricket grounds.
Am I right? Is it Cape Town? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm still laughing about cervix and then middle stump.
Main stump.
Well, you got it.
Main stump. It's now going to be main stump.
Main stump is incredible. Oh, wow.
Genius.
That was a good performance. How many was that?
Very good. That was 6.
Oh, is that a new leader?
It is a new leader.
I definitely
well
recommend
done,
that category.
Even with, and I know I'm going to get a little bit about, yeah, definitely that. There's lots to sink your teeth into there, isn't there?
Yeah. Whoever goes DB's wheelhouse is just asking for trouble.
It's pretty much just there for DB, right? It's just waiting for him to come on the show so that he can do it. There's going to be controversy, though. I feel like, just so I can clear this up, because the only one that's really going to argue with it will probably be Fracknell, because now you're in front of him. But just to clear this up, Fracknell, yes, Hedge did say pad when he was describing an area on the batsman, up around the legs. However, I feel, and I'll go back and review the tape, but I feel that Josh said thigh pad.
I think I did.
Hedge got pad out.
Yeah, I heard pad afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I'll be lucky with that one.
Tension.
So very careful to get away. It's almost like he was about to run over the rope and he tossed it up and jumped back in the field of play. That's what he did there. He saved it very well. That's it. He's never going to do it. Okay, but as they currently stand, yes, Hedge on 6. Frecknell on 5, Matthew Goodman on 4 with still some time to play, and Ed on lowly 3. So well done, Hedge.
Yeah, very, good effort, Hedge.
Cheers. Yeah. Cheers. All my practice this week's paid off.
Practice.
I'm kidding.
Cool. Right, just before we get going as well, it's been a few episodes now, and I realise I haven't ever actually mentioned anything about this. We do need to say a big thank you, and the reason why it's kind of been brought up is because the theme tune that you heard today, which, I mean, in my opinion, this was purely only created because Tom requested it. So you're welcome, Tom. It was created by a man in the club known as Dave Burgess Ballet. And the reason why this is significant is because his son, Elliot Burgess Ballet, is our artist. He's the one that drew our logo. So we rely on him for all of our art in all of our creative projects. And it seems now we're relying on the whole Burgess Ballet family for anything creative to do with this podcast.
The French episode is going to be particularly difficult for us without Marine. So, yeah.
Right. I completely agree. So thank you, Elliot. Thank you, entire Burgess Ballet family. We really love,
absolutely. Thank you.
Everything that you do. Anything else, Josh?
No, that's good for me, man.
Lovely, man. It was great chatting to you today. Hedge, thank you so much for coming on, bud. We love you.
Thanks, Hedge.
Absolute honour, and keep up the podcast. So great listening.
Cheers, mate. Good on you. All right, thank you everyone for listening. As usual, Twitter at VillageCICC if you want to make contact with us that way, or you can email us villageidiotcicc@gmail.com. Thank you, everyone. Have a great couple of weeks, because we're probably only going to do these every 2 weeks from here on in, which is unless we get the itch. But other than that, take care, be safe. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.